Phullaravindayatapatra yena tvaya bharata tailapurna prajvalito jnanamaya pradipa. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dhyanamoolam Gurur Murti Pujamoolam Gurur Padam Mantramoolam Gurur Vakyam Mokshamoolam Guru Kripa. Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai, Satchidananda Bhagavan ki jai, Krishna Bhagavan ki jai, Gita Maharani ki jai. Hari Om. We are discussing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter. Yesterday we saw the 5th sloka. Sattvam rajastamaiti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha nivadnanti mahavaho dehe dehinamabhyayam. In this purity, passion and inertia, these three qualities, O Arjuna, born of nature, bind fast in the body the embodied, the imperishable, this soul. So this is what we were discussing. If you want to attain freedom or perfection, if you wish to become immortal, you must rise above the modes of nature. You must transcend the gunas. Gunas are the cause for bondage. If the water in the vessel is agitated, the reflected sun in the water also appears to be agitated through pratibimba. Pratibimba, not only pratibimba, it is pratibimba adhyasa, superimposition of reflection on water. It appears to be agitated. Even so, the pure, unchanging self appears to be bound by the qualities of nature. The soul is pure, it is transparent, it is not bound to anything, it is not influenced by anything, but yet it appears as it were it is bound by the qualities of nature through superimposition with the nature. In reality, the self is ever free and untainted. It is beyond them, beyond all these modifications, superimpositions and everything. That means the individual self, the individual soul, which till now we were discussing, it is eightfold body and carrying body, ativahik sharir. It is not the absolute supreme self. Till now we were discussing this, and now he says the self is ever free and untainted. It is beyond them. So how to understand this? The self is, from our relative point of vision, it is, we see the tide of self. It is tied up by the qualities of the nature. And that is what we can see only, because we are also in the darkness. Our vision is relative vision. It is not pure vision. So we see what we can according to our visibility, our angle of vision. You see, we don't see any object at dark night, whereas the owls and the animals, wild animals, they are able to see everything. How do they see? Their vision is different. Their eyesight is different from our eyesight. So in this way there is a difference in visions. I told you the story of the buffalo. The story goes like that. It is a true event, incident. It is not a story. There was a person who purchased a very beautiful buffalo, selling all his cows to have more business in milk, selling the milk. It was yielding about 20 liters of milk at a time. So he was very much persuaded by it, and the person purchased the buffalo. But the owner of the buffalo, he was giving all the time from morning till evening only green fodder. So it was eating plenty and it was yielding so much milk. And when this person purchased the buffalo, he brought it home. This fellow purchaser could not supply the buffalo so much green fodder. So it had to give some green and some husk. So the buffalo was not eating all those. Only that much, whatever green fodder it gets, it eats it. Slowly the buffalo became weaker and it stopped yielding milk much. Slowly the milk ratio also went down. And after 10-15 days, the buffalo was only skeleton and it was yielding some 4-5 liters of milk. The person was so depressed. What did I do? I did a mistake. Now there is no other go. What to do? He was pondering, he was worrying, sitting somewhere, hands on the head. What shall I do? What to do? His friend was passing by. He asked, what has happened to you? Why you are sitting like this? He narrated all the story to the friend. The friend said, don't worry, I have some remedy. He went to the market and brought some green oil paper from the market, and it was little thick, hard metal, it will not tear away. So the friend made a beautiful covering of the eye for the buffalo and tied it on its horns. And whatever is given to her, the buffalo started eating everything, seeing it is green fodder, and the fellow sprinkled some salt water and little jaggery, so it was tasting so nice. The husk became green fodder. When the eyes are covered with green oil paper. This is how. And we know the person, diseased person with, what is that? Arapilia? Jaundice. He sees everything all around, everything is yellow. Lord Krishna dances before him. It is your vision how you see. It is not the same for everyone. So this is how we see the self from our angle of vision, and we see it is not the supreme. But from a higher point of view, there is no difference between the three bodies, gross body and subtle body, which is known as eightfold body, and also the causal body. There are three bodies. There is no difference in it. Only from relative point of view, there is difference between these three bodies. So from the higher point of view, he says the soul, the self is untainted. It cannot be bound by the nature. But yet it appears as if it is tied up. It is influenced by the three natures, and body, soul, mind, etc., whatever they do by the force of nature only. This is what we are going to discuss in this chapter. How the three qualities, they influence the embodied person. The gunas, which are only forms of ignorance, are ever dependent on the knower of the field. Understood? They are dependent upon the knower of the field. They bind fast, as it were, the knower of the field. They have him as the basis of their existence. They overpower the embodied person, and the gunas think we are the Purusha, and Purusha thinks we are I am the gunas. They have been one now. You can imagine a plastic thread, make 2-3 knots in it and tighten it as much as you can, and sew the knot over the candle light. It will melt a little, and all the sides. Can you untie it afterwards? It has become one. Similarly, the embodied is tied up with the body and the mind, etc., which are the subject to three qualities, nature. So both together have become one now. If the nature does everything, the Purusha, the embodied things I am doing, and he is never the doer, he is the witness. He never can be tainted by all these influences, but yet it appears to be like that. He gave the example just as the reflections at the bank of the river makes the river water tainted as it were, agitated as it were. The reflections make it. So these qualities are like that only. Of course, we shall discuss ahead everything in detail, how do they work. A knowledge of the gunas and their operation is very necessary. How do they act? Only if you have this knowledge can you free yourself from their clutches. They bind you, and if you know the trick how do they bind, you can free yourself from the clutches of these gunas. Mahabaho, mighty armed, it is address of Arjuna, with strong and sinewy arms reaching down to the knees. Mahabahu, it is a good sign of a great man. Ramji also is described in that Mahabahu. The hand should reach the knee. That indicates this person is a great man. This is a very auspicious sign. Yogis and sages have such beautiful arms. These three gunas are present in all human beings. No one is free from the operation of any one of the three qualities of nature. They are not constant. Sometimes sattva predominates, at other times rajas or tamas predominates. So they influence each other in different ways, in different time, according to situations and time. Sattva has the characteristic of effulgence, light. It is transparent, it has very subtle existence, and it is also known as effulgence, light. It is also harmony and goodness. Harmony, balanced state, it keeps up balance in the embodied, and it is also goodness. When sattva dominates, then the person will do good things. But by doing good things also, it binds the person. We shall see it further. And purity also. Rajas is passion or activity, or we can say restlessness, ever engaged in running hither and thither like a mad dog and bitten by a scorpion and the person has given it a dose of alcohol also. And see the restlessness of the dog, how it runs. This is how the rajas makes a person restless. And tamas is inertia or darkness. When tamas dominates, it brings laziness and intelligence doesn't work, anger and lust and all these bad qualities also appear. That is the result of tamas. Analyze all phenomena in terms of these three. Know their characteristics. Stand as a witness of these qualities. Do not identify yourself with them. Separate yourself from them. Become a gunatit. You will attain supreme peace, immortality, and eternal bliss. This is what he said before also. You have to transcend all these qualities. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakasakam anamayam sukha sangena vadnati jnana sangena cha anagha. Now we shall discuss in what way all these three qualities they bind the embodied. Now he says about the sattva. Of these sattva, which from its stainlessness is luminous and healthy, binds by attachment to happiness and by attachment to knowledge, O sinless one, O Arjuna. Sattva also binds the soul. How? It creates an attachment or desire for or clinginess, entanglement with happiness. Let me be happy. Let me do everything for my happiness, for others' happiness. So this is also a tie. And by attachment to knowledge, oh, I should learn more and more. I should be a knowledgeable person. Knowledge, of course, is a tie only, bondage. What kind of knowledge? Don't forget, it is the indicative knowledge or informative knowledge, what we gather by the senses, by contact of the senses with the sense objects, and thereby a type of attachment starts and desires also start. They are of course sattvic, they are of course good to have knowledge. Oh, Gita, I must attend Gita class. Swamiji tells so many stories. I shall go and attend Gita class. This is also a bondage. So you should not attend Gita class. Don't forget, this bondage helps you to go beyond bondage. See how it helps you. Sattva helps you, of course, by tying up, by influencing you to have the desire, strong desire for knowledge, for happiness, and for sinless. Let me be sinless one. This is also a desire. And it will bind you. So how to be desireless and go beyond bondage? See, how it helps you. Sattva helps an aspirant to get rid of sattva. Sattva helps you to get rid of sattva, whereas rajas cannot do it, nor tamas. How does it help you? By having knowledge, by having happiness, by having sinless. What happens then? You attain a state of desirelessness. So slowly you will give up the desire to have all these. Slowly it acts. For example, you see the hailstones. When there will be storm, there will be hailstones. It destroys all the crops, the flowers and crops. The trees also sometimes are destroyed by the heavy hailstones. And in the end, what happens to the hailstone? It melts away. It disappears. It destroys everything, and after it disappears itself. It gets destroyed by itself. And what happens to a human bomb? The person hides the bomb inside its clothes or something, somehow, and it goes somewhere where to make havoc. So it blasts the bomb. The bomb destroys everyone around it, and the person also dies. It destroys all others, and it destroys himself also. So in the end, sattva will destroy all the desires, and it will be destroyed by itself. In this way, it will help you. Sattva is stainless like the crystal. It lays for one the trap of happiness and knowledge. It is a golden fetter, golden handcuff. Handcuff is gold, but it binds you. A sattvic man compares himself with others and rejoices in his excellence. I am better than others. So this also creates ego, enhances your ego. I am more knowledgeable than other people. See, these people, they don't know anything. I know. I have studied so much. I am a Sanskrit scholar. What do you know? You cannot compete with me. Come on, we shall have Shastrarth This ego is created by a good cause because you have so much knowledge. And see others, they are weeping all the time. I am all the time happy and gay. I always laugh and dance and enjoy my happiness. This is also a bondage. Bondage. It is just like a golden tie. A sattvic man compares himself with others and rejoices in his excellence. He is puffed up with his knowledge. His heart is filled with pride. When he thinks that he has more comforts or more pleasant experiences, he thinks, I am happy, I am wise, and so he is bound as it were. These ideas really belong to the field. Field means to the soul identifying with the body. But they are transferred through superimposition to the self on account of the force of sattva guna. Actually, sattva guna binds the body and the senses, fourfold mind, etc., the whole total body. But Purusha thinks, I am the body, so he is bound. Adhyosmi dhanavan sukhi konyasti sadrisamaya. I am a great man. So many people, they salute me. What do you think? I am a great man. Some people wear this orange cloth only to get reverence from others. That is the inner desire. Let everybody think I am a great yogi and they will salute me. This is a bondage. People don't understand the inner hidden desire. They keep quiet just like a bitten snake. It keeps quiet for some time and after some time it again rises up and chases the person and bites. Similarly, this pride and this ego, it binds you, and this is by sattva guna. Rajat and tamas are pitfalls on the path of knowledge. They don't allow you to have knowledge. You see, this knowledge, what sattva gives you, means encourages you to have this knowledge, is informative knowledge. It is not self-knowledge. You must not forget it. Rajas and tamas are pitfalls on the path of knowledge. This attachment of happiness is an illusion. Neither you should be happy nor unhappy. One has to go beyond both. That is called bliss. It is neither happiness nor unhappiness. You see, this world, relative world, is composed by pairs of opposites. When happiness will be there, soon after it, you will get unhappiness. It goes in a cycle. The whole world runs in a cycle. it repeats again and again by changing phenomena. So if happiness is there, so sorrow has to come. It is just like the wheel of a bullock cart or a car. The upper portion comes down, the down goes up. It in this way it revolves again and again, and that is the reason how it advances forward. Without that you cannot grow, you cannot go ahead. That is the law of nature. This attachment to happiness is an illusion. This is ignorance. Whether you are sattvic or rajasic or tamasic, it is under ignorance only. What is called ignorance? Ignorance means not understanding the truth. Truth is hidden by imbalanced state of these three qualities. When these three qualities they are not imbalanced, they cannot act. So nature imbalances it, and that's how it activates, and that is how it covers up the reality. This is ignorance. An attribute of the object cannot belong to the subject. Attribute of object cannot belong to subject. It is the attribute of the body, whole total body with all its parts. It cannot really influence the witness of the body, that is the soul behind it. An attribute of the object cannot belong to the subject. All the qualities from desire to formness belong to the field. 13th chapter, 6th sloka. Come on, don't hurry. We shall see. Ichha dvesaha sukham dukkham sanghatas chetana dhritihi etad kshetram samasena savikaram udahritam. Desire, hatred, pleasure, pain, the aggregate, the body, intelligence and fortitude, the field has thus been briefly described with its modifications. These are all the modifications of the body, the whole body, and this is how it is together known as the body. The modifications of the body. Sanghata chetana dhriti. It is the body, whole total body, Sanghat. Sanghat means aggregate. Chetana, here it is known as intelligence, who understands all these activities of the whole total body. Dhriti, the fortitude. All these are known in brief as the body. समासेन सविकारम उदाहृतम। एतत् क्षेत्रम, यही है क्षेत्र। ये सारा मिलजुल करके, एवरीथिंग टुगेदर, एग्रीगेट ऑफ इट, known as the body. Body is not only the flesh and bone body. No. Body means the whole totality, whole group. So this is how he said. All the qualities from desire to firmness, dhriti, firmness, belong to the field. From ignorance, non-discrimination is born, and so the individual self is not able to discriminate between the permanent and the impermanent, the subject and the object. Discrimination is hold tight, it is not allowed to work, because dhriti, it binds, it stops it. Stop, don't work. We are dominators now. We are dominating. We shall work. So all these bad qualities, they hide the cover of the discrimination, as it were, to work. It stops it. Knowledge is an attribute of the antakarana, inner instrument, which is mind, intellect, the unconscious and ego, but not of the self. It does not belong to self. If it were an attribute of the self, it could not produce attachment and bondage. Sattva binds the soul to knowledge through attachment. This we shall revise tomorrow. This is how Sattva binds you. Tomorrow we shall see how Rajas binds you. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Satchidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Gita Maharani ki jai. Hari